Welcome everybody, GT3 Motorsport here, and for my very first video of my channel, I would like to create something that I wish I had at the beginning of my sim racing career. I'm going to create an absolute beginner's guide for iRacing, and it can seem like an overwhelming simulation to get into, but truth be told, it's not near as bad as some people like to paint out, and it doesn't have to even be as expensive as some people like to make it out to be. It can be on the expensive side, especially if you're somebody who would like to try every single car or every single map. It can start to add up, but if you are trying to be on a budget about this and you still want to begin an iRacing career, you can do it absolutely without breaking the bank. Now, this is what I'm going to show you so that it's a little less overwhelming. Now, once you go to sign up, make sure that you find some type of deal. I believe right now there is 40% off. All new accounts. Oh, there it is right here. Yeah, so 40% off all new memberships. And truth be told, there's almost always some type of promotion on for brand new sim racers to iRacing. So make sure that when you're coming to purchase your brand new account that you get some type of deal, or else just wait a week, maybe two max, because there will be something else that pops up. So without further ado, once you get past that step and you get signed in, it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. Now this is your main iRacing hub. This is where you'll access everything from races, practices, and your personal information. This is how it's all operated. So to start off, let's go to find official races and we'll check out current series so that we can explain the license classes and how these races actually work. So once you load in here, you'll notice it starts at our class series. That's rookie class. That's where everybody begins and everybody has to go through. Now, so if we take a look at the very first three races available to us here, you'll notice that it says on the far right, Rookie Oval. Now, that's the class of racing that this is. This is oval racing. So if we scroll up to the very top here, you'll notice you have 4 licenses. Each of those represent a different class of license. The very first one, you'll notice says oval if you hover over it. The next one will say dirt oval. This will be road racing, which you could see I have a C class rating in. And the final one here is dirt road. Now, when you're looking at these series, on the far right side, it will explain exactly which license it's going to upgrade and what you'll be moving forward with if you're racing in that said race. So if we move down below here, the Mazda MX-5 Cup, which is where I began mine and how I progressed to D class, this shows that it's Rookie Road that we'll be upgrading. Now, this is where the planning out your career is very important. If you know that you're trying to be a NASCAR driver and that's going to be your only intention, then you're going to obviously want to focus on oval. And the same goes for if you plan on driving GT cars, F1 series on roads as well. Any of those, obviously, then you're going to want to be picking road to continue on. So once you come down here, we could start looking. So I knew that my end goal, once I got down to C class series, was to be racing in GT cars. That was always my plan from the very beginning. So I wanted to be racing in the IMSA Sports Car Championship. That was my end goal. And that's where I'm racing right now currently. And so I knew that it was road that I needed to focus on. And this is what you're going to want to do as well. So you'll want to see in your C class series, hopefully one day you can get there, or B class even, come down here and see which you wanted to get. And once you figure out what your goal is, it's pretty simple to start planning out your said career. So let's just hypothetically say you were like me and you were trying to get to GT racing or F1 racing on road or anything along those. So you were planning a road career. Okay, so we know that. So we'll go back up to rookie class series and we'll look for road. Now road, obviously, as I told you before, there is the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup, and there is also down here Pro 2 Light Truck Championship, Rookie iRacing Rally Cross Series, and Sim Lab Production Car Challenge are all road series. So this will upgrade your road licenses. Now, I personally chose the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup, and I will show you exactly why. If you click this little drop down arrow here on the left side, you'll notice that all the tracks are available to you. It says status is ready underneath each and every single one of them, and the global Mazda MX-5 Cup car is also available. So this is why for most people who are going to begin their road license, this is where they start, because you don't actually have to shell out any more money to get to your D-class license. And this is actually what I was getting at, is that you don't necessarily have to spend out a whole bunch more money to get racing, especially in the very beginning. Your rookie class license should be pretty much free, if you want to put it that way, after paying your subscription. You shouldn't have to shell out any extra for cars or maps. But if we scroll down to D class, you'll start to understand what I'm referring to when I say that. If you come down to, let's say, the Fanatec Global Challenge Fixed, if you notice here, when we go down to tracks and we check the status the same way we did previously, you'll notice that it says add to cart under a good chunk of these maps. That's because iRacing doesn't actually give you every single map that's available in the game. The majority of them you are actually going to have to purchase, and this is where it can get quite pricey. Now, if you are on a budget and you are trying to find a workaround, there is still a way that you could do this and save a few bucks. If you just check on the schedule to the left here, you'll notice that it tells you when each individual course is going to be popping up. So if you did want to wait until one of the maps that you do own becomes available, that is an option. You could just wait until that said week. Granted, most people aren't going to be that patient, but I mean, the reality of it is when you're beginning as a driver here, a lot of these cars can be difficult to get a grasp on. You're going to have to spend hours in practice before you're going to be able to actually race anyways, truth be told. So you could just spend a week or two hypothetically just getting comfortable with the car on that map that would be coming up. And then once the race becomes available, you will be prepared, and at that point you will be familiar with the car and how it handles, because the jump between the Cadillac CT-SB race car and the Mazda MX-5, it's ridiculous. They're two completely different animals, and it will take some time to get used to. Once you become adjusted to the MX-5, the Cadillac is going to be a whole new world for you. So that is one way if you're on a budget. Otherwise, just feel free to purchase the map that it's on during that date, and you'll be able to drive at any point and race whenever you want. So with that being said, we'll click in here and I will show you at least how to actually enter a match. I'm not going to dig into this video on how to actually drive the MX-5 and how to get out of the rookie class. I will do that perhaps in another video, but for right now, I just want to give the basics. So I will show you how to at least load into a practice or a race properly, and I will also show you how you could test your car in a solo practice. But besides that, this is as far as we'll be going on the actual driving part of iRacing in this said tutorial. So after clicking sessions, it will bring you to a session selection screen here. Now on the left, you can see it says practice. In the middle, you'll notice it says time trial. And on the far right, it says race. Now, these are the three options you have to use in iRacing. Practice is self-explanatory. It's where you could practice with other drivers on the actual track, so you're not alone practicing, and you could start to get used to how it is to have traffic on the road. And you don't need to worry about this docking your iRating at all if you get into accidents or cause any havoc in there. It doesn't really change anything. You could just reload and start driving again. So it might be a nuisance to some people if you're in there crashing and you don't actually know how to ride on the track, but at the end of the day, it's not actually going to hurt your iRating score in practice. Time trial is exactly that. This is one way that you can actually earn your licenses and promote up. I've never done this personally. I was on iRacing to actually race. So time trials, they happen every 2 minutes. You can load in whenever you want for a time trial, but I believe it might be a little bit different on how you actually progress off of time trials. Again, it's not what I do, so I'm not 100% sure as far as time trials go. But for races, you'll notice here, they run every hour for the MX-5. The last thing that you want to do during your iRacing career is get excited and join a race because you just want to race against some people, and you go in there and you just crash and ride off the course constantly. That's what makes iRacing. iRacing is the rating system is very, very strict, and they will punish you for everything. If you cross the track, even the slightest, and you're out of the racetrack, they're docking you 1 point, and you have a maximum of 17 that you can get up to. If you get into a car accident with any single car, it doesn't matter whether it's your fault or not, somebody could ram into you, you could be absolutely innocent in it, both cars are getting docked 4 points. So you can see quickly if you're not prepared for a race and you go in there and just get into a few accidents, just touch a car a couple times, you could get disqualified just by getting too many points and being DQ'd out of the race. So you do not want to get overzealous, and not only will it DQ you from that said race, it's going to punish your license score considerably, and you're going to have to earn those points back up. It says up at the top here, if you notice, on my oval license, for instance, because I haven't done any oval racing, you start at a 2.5. If you go into a race and you start to crash and you start to go off the course and you just place horribly or get DQ'd, you're going to see that rating drop down and you're going to have to earn those points back again. So make sure that racing is the absolute last thing you do once you have the course memorized off the back of your hand, and you could comfortably go around that track for at least 20 minutes, half hour without consistently making mistakes. That's when you know you're ready for a race. So this is where you're going to want to stay in practice mode for the good majority of the time until you're 100% comfortable with the course. With that being said, I'll show you quickly how you would actually load into a practice mode here. You'll come down, you'll find one of the servers. It will show you individually what type of server it is, US, Australian, so on and so forth. I personally find American ones as I'm Canadian, so I will load in, let's say right here, there's a US one, I'll click. And after pressing that, you'll notice it reloads the screen and it will tell you your driver's briefing here. It'll tell you the event weather, the temperature, the wind speed, all of the things that you would need to know for a race. And then on the top right, you'll notice it says join session, driver briefing, withdraw or forfeit. Now, it's pretty self-explanatory. One thing worth noting is that if you're planning on loading into a new practice or anything along those lines, you are going to have to withdraw from the current session that you've joined before it will allow you to do that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, if you're wanting to load in, you'll just simply press join session and the sim will start firing up in the background. And it is simple as that. So once you load into the sim, you'll notice at the very top in the middle, there's a big green practice button. You press that and it will simply load you into your car and you'll be ready to hit the track. On the right side, you'll notice it says garage. This is where you'll typically be able to tweak your setup. But for the MX-5, seeing as it's a beginner class and rookie class, it's actually a fixed setup race, so you won't be able to tweak anything for that said car. But that's typically where you would go if you were trying to change your setup in your car. Options is exactly that. Options, you could change your steering, brakes, and force feedback on your wheel. You could change pretty much everything here. Your field of view, driver height, all of those things are in your options. So make sure that you do tweak some of those things to your liking so that you are most comfortable in your car. But yeah, with that being said, I'll just quit out of this match and I will show you how to load into a practice on your own if you are not interested in practicing with people quite yet. So we'll make sure that we withdraw from the current session that we're in. Press that, withdraw now. It will withdraw us out of that practice session. And then if you come down here to the right, you'll notice it says race now, and then to the left it'll say test. If you press that orange test button, it will pull up a screen here that will allow you to pick any single car that you currently own or any track that you currently own. So if you are planning on being in the MX-5 Cup, you'd want to come to your car more than likely, and you'd switch it to the MX-5. And once you have that MX-5 selected, select the track that you are going to be racing at. And then you can go in here and you can do the exact same thing, just press test car on track. It will load you in, bring you in the exact same way as the previous practice session, except there will be nobody else on the road and you could practice worry-free and then join the public practice later on. So yeah, with that being said, that's how you would actually load up a match. And the last thing I'll show for this tutorial is your profile. If you scroll down to accounts here, and you come down to my profile and click, this is where you're going to see all the information regarding your account. It will show you each individual license that you have: oval, road, dirt oval, or dirt road. It will show you your iRating, your license class, all of these things. And if you scroll down to your career, it keeps track of pretty much everything: your starts, your wins, your top 5 places, your poles, your average start, your average finish, total laps. All of this information is available to you, and you can come back and see whether you've been consistent or not and whether you're ready to promote out. If you scroll down to the very bottom, on the left side, you'll notice it says MPR statistics. This is where you'll actually get your license promotions, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to promote to the next class. If you notice, for my oval, it says rookie still because I've done no races in oval, so it will tell me that I need 2 more races or 4 time trials in your license class or above that. So you need to race at least twice before they will allow you to progress out of rookie. And not only do you have to race twice, it says that your SR so your safety rating, if you notice it says your SR is below 3.0, that's because I have to get this up over 3.0 before they would allow me to promote out of rookie oval. So that's another thing. This is what I was telling you before about the race. Make sure you're not loading into the race just to load in, and you're going to be losing all your safety rating points if you're getting into accidents, all those things. Truth be told, safety rating is actually the most important part of iRacing if you're planning on getting out of rookie class. It's not about where you place in the rookie class race. You could be 10th, 9th, 8th. If you drove a clean race, that is absolutely more important to getting into the next class, because that's basically what iRacing is all about. They want clean racers. Being fast is obviously important, but being clean is more important. So make sure that you drive clean races, and make sure that you get your safety rating above 3.0. That is always going to be one of the mandatory requirements for getting your next license. So if you notice my Class C road racing here, it's telling me that I need to race 4. So it's only 2 races for your rookie class. Once you get to Class D, Class C, Class B, I'm pretty sure all of those are going to be 4 or more races, and your SR is also going to have to be above 3.0. But these are what you're going to have to keep in mind when you're thinking about moving up into a next class. You're going to always want to come to this MPR statistics and see exactly what you need to accomplish to get your next rating. So yeah, I hope this tutorial has helped. I know I wish I had something for absolute beginners. When I started this, trying to figure some of this information out on my own was a struggle, and it took some time. So if you appreciate this and it's helped you at all, please drop a like on this tutorial, and if you really liked it, a subscribe would help. As you can see, this is a brand new channel, and I'm just getting it off the ground now. I'll be playing all types of different racing games: iRacing, Assetto Corsa, Grid, Forza, you name it. I don't discriminate. I love racing games, and that's what this entire channel is going to be about. I will be posting all of that said content with actual footage of me racing with the wheel and the pedals as well. So yeah, if you would like to see more content like that, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Hope you guys all have a good one. Cheers.